Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Atra Izzati with a metric number 1182193. Okay, today I'm gonna have a Q&A session which I will answer to some questions provided on how to choose your news. Okay, first let me disclose my current sources of news stories which I am using social media platform in getting any information or any current news. Okay, Facebook is the main social media platform that helps me to keep myself updated to any current issues, locally or globally. Question 1. Why did you choose that source? I choose Facebook as my current source of news stories as Facebook provides new ways of sharing news stories that allow users to act as an opinion leaders in the network, encourage discussion and increase our involvement in current issues. In Facebook, users not just consume the news but we can also voice out our opinion on any particular issues as news published by media has now open for discussion. We had no longer to write to the editor and hope for a featured opinion. Our opinion could now be everywhere. It has become a two-way communication by getting news on Facebook. Question 2. Why did you think it is reliable? I think news that been published on Facebook is reliable as many news agencies and organizations are on Facebook. I can directly get trustworthy information from them without having to doubt the news. For example, every day I will visit the Ministry of Health Facebook page in getting information and news regarding the pandemic COVID-19. By doing this, I can always keep myself up to date regarding these issues. However, we as readers and consumers have to be good in choosing news by only read news that being published by professional and reputable agencies, publications and organizations so that all the info we get is reliable and trustworthy. Question 3. Could you identify the author of the story? Yes, I could identify the author of the story by run a quick check on them to see whether they are credible enough to write the story. Sometimes, fake news stories are using a fake name for the author. So, by identifying the author, we can distinguish the credibility of the story and see whether the story are fake news or vice versa. I also can visit the link that has been included in the news to get extra information. The link will direct me to their official website, which I can get a lot of information there. Question 4. What further investigation did you do to verify a story? Every news that I read and go through, I will further investigate to verify the story whether it is fake news or not. I usually use a website to counter misinformation, which is sebenarnya.my, that established by Malaysian Communication and Multimedia Commission. This website snaps fake news on social media. I will also examine the evidence stated in the news stories. A credibility news stories will include plenty of facts such as quotes from experts, survey data, and official statistics, or detailed, consistent, and corroborated eyewitness accounts from people on the scene. If these are missing, the story can be questioned whether it is trustworthy or not. In addition, I also will look into any reputable news agency such as Bernama to see whether they pick the same story or not. If there is no news agency that cover the same story, then it is proven that that particular story is fake. Question 5. How many times have you shared, retweeted or posted stories without any investigation of its authenticity and reliability? As far as I remember, there's only one time where I shared the story about Siti Khadijah, wife of Prophet Muhammad SAW, through WhatsApp status without any investigation of its authenticity or reliability. It happened because I get the story from one of my friends and she said that I have to repost and share the story without compromise. So without much thinking, I shared the story as I thought it is true, but later I found out that the credibility of the story was doubted. Question 6. Did you ever learn at a later stage that the story you shared was not true? If so, what did you do? Yes, I do learn at a later stage that the story I shared was not true, and the story is about wife of Prophet Muhammad, Siti Khadijah. After I know and I realized that the story I shared was not true, I immediately delete the post and uploading a new post to explain to the viewers about the previous post that I made was not true, and I apologize for any inconvenience that I have caused. I also asked the viewers who had encountered to my previous post not to spread or trust the post. The last question is, what is our ethical responsibility as a student, citizen and social media participant to think independently and to safeguard the truth of what we read and report? As a Muslim, I should abide by all the Islamic ethical responsibility in thinking independently and safeguard the truth of what I read and report. Actually, whether you are a Muslim or not, basically it is the same for all to follow the ethical responsibility. The first ethical responsibility is haq, which means truth and accuracy. We should always strive for accuracy in reading the news stories or report it by giving all the relevant facts that we have and ensure that they have been checked. By doing this, we can prevent from any misinformation or fake news to happen. The second ethical responsibility is wasatiyah, which means respecting and valuing moderation and implies impartiality and equity. We cannot endorse a specific political cause or support one side of the dispute. We have to be fair in judging both sides without being biased. By doing this, we can prevent ourselves from being a judgmental person, and we will know which party is on the right side as both parties are being exposed fairly. The last is tabligh, which means to reach out the message. This ethical responsibility is asking people to only spread good deeds and honesty to the public. We must cultivate a positive attitude toward the public and inspire them to do good deeds. This is the same with the concept of amar ma'ruf nahi munkar, generally translated as stipulating what is right and prohibiting what is wrong. So that's the end of our Q&A session. Thanks for watching me and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.